I'm going to be sanding some rust off of some metal and polishing the metal to a mirror. I'm going to use this to brush some of the rust off of it. And what I'm going to be doing is this right here, this handle on this thing. I'll sand it with 220 grit sandpaper, and then 400 grit, and then finally 2000 grit sandpaper. Then I'll polish it with that mixture of white metal polish and kerosene I have mixed together in this bottle. And I'm going to wet sand it after I brush some of the rust off. The rust is coming off. Just a little bit pitted. It's still chrome under the rust. I'll wipe it off with a wet rag. Looks like it just basically needs a good brushing, but it is a little bit pitted. You can see the little pits in it, little brown spots. Anyway, let's see if we can sand them out. I think I'll just start off with 400 grit on this. Let's see. Wet this a little bit. Pour some more water on this. Put the sandpaper. Get it good and wet. See if we can get those little pits out. Okay, let's wipe it off. I think it got a little bit of the pits out. Well, it did get a little bit of them out, but not enough. Now I'll sand it with a 2000 grit sandpaper. Get it wet. All right, wipe it off. Now I guess I'll polish it after I wipe it off one more time. Make sure I get all that rust water off of it. Now I will dry it off. Take the metal polish. Wait a minute. Get that stuff off my fingers. And we'll go to polishing it. See what it comes out like. Put the polish on this. A little bit too much. Wait a minute. All right, now I'll polish it with that. Yeah. So Now I'll wipe it off. Clean rag. Well, at least gave it a little bit more reflection. Well, guess that'll do it. Because that's about as good as you're going to get that. Not unless you were to grind down into it with an angle grinder. At least it gave it the reflection back, and it's more closer to matching up with this. I think really pretty much what it just needed was a good metal brush to get that rust off of it, and then clean with a metal cleaner or polish. But in order to get those, this is steel, and it's you need a more rougher abrasive to get those pits out of it. So what you would want to do with this, you would want to hit it with an angle grinder, or like a wire wheel on an angle grinder or drill, and just to cut it down all the way to the raw steel. Once you get it to the raw steel, you would take and sand the scratches out of the raw steel, and then you would use sandpaper, probably 3 or I don't know, a few pieces of sandpaper to sand it down to get it smooth, and then you'd polish it, and then it would look like this. Or it'd be more shinier than this. It wouldn't have a black pits in it, but then you'd have to put something on it to protect it from rusting, like a clear coat or a clear coat of paint, clear coat of protective paint, or wax, car wax. So that's better than what it was. Okay, post your comments. If you have any ideas, share them. Put them on here. If you have any ideas, put them on here. Glad to hear them. Thanks a lot. Adios.